Okay. Welcome back to Me versus Myself podcast. So we got a new mic going on today. We got a new audio interface recording us. So hopefully there will be no more technical difficulties. I know the past episodes have had a couple of technical difficulties with like the audio cutting out midway or like the mic audio not even recording, and it's a little stressful. The background's a little bit different. I'm positioned like where I'm usually at is like right here. You guys are usually on the bed looking that way, but well, looking that way. See the? I'm just kidding. No, but dude, hi, welcome back to Me versus Myself podcast. I'm very excited to be back and talking to you guys because, bro, honestly, I kind of miss it. Like when I kind of miss doing two videos a week, and there's really no reason for me not to be doing two videos a week. It's just I felt like doing it every week kind of gave me time to like just sit with everything that I was feeling and like process it. But sometimes like, I feel like I want to get stuff out and say things, but also it's like, well, I just wait till Monday. But I don't know. I'm kind of debating whether or not to like post twice, simply because I just don't want to like bombard you guys with episodes and like start rushing it. Because I mean, there was a point when I was doing the 3 a week where it did kind of feel like repetition and like, I was just saying a lot. But also, this is like my void of like reflection, my chamber of reflection. So it's like I get to come here and just talk about whatever it is that I'm feeling. And sometimes I don't really have that outlet anywhere else. I mean, I have my journal which I write in, and I like plan out stuff and say things about what I'm feeling, but not to the extent of like a podcast. And especially because like this is so, it's like so much more established within just like with myself. And also the fact that people are listening is just very cool to me, and I like the fact that people listen, and I like the fact that people are taking the time out of their day to like watch and listen to me, because it's like at the end of the day, like, we're friends, right? And like this is a conversation between friends, and although you don't get to say anything back to me, I'm speaking to you as if we were talking and having a conversation. And I think that's a very cool thing to have or to share together, because I mean, we're all in quarantine technically, or I don't even know what it is. It's still lockdown, it's not lockdown, I don't know, bro. But it gets lonely, to be honest. Like, I want more friends, and I mean, I have been meeting more friends, thankfully. So I haven't told you guys about this so much, but I've been boxing again and just diving into MMA. And I've met a lot of really cool people there. And like, I've met a lot of really cool friends and people that I'm genuinely like excited to share and like be with more. Um, Not only do they motivate me, they also like encourage me to just be better. And being like the younger one there, because I mean I'm 18, right? I turned 19 in like 34 days, or a month and 4 days. September 14th is my birthday. And I'm gonna be 19, right? And everyone there is kind of like 21, 22, 23 ish. And it's just really encouraging and really inspiring to be like around those people and like see them having their things kind of figured out, or like them being a little bit more established, or like them just being in a different place of their life than I am, right? I'm kind of in the beginning of like this whole adulthood thing, and we're almost a year into it, which like it's fucking crazy. The fact that I've been an adult for a year almost. Think about how it's like August 10th, and how this time last year, like, I was trying to apply for a fucking I wish I remembered when the last day I had to apply. 'Cause I literally waited to like the last day to apply to classes, because I didn't know what I was gonna go study, and I was just like, well, what the fuck, like, I don't want to do general ed, I don't want to do math and stuff, because I was just bad at it. It's gonna be stressful, and I'm gonna be like fucking fighting against passing and not passing to get credit. But it was like, nah, dude, I don't think I want to be doing that, or I want to do that. And well, I just kind of didn't do it, and it's all good. I mean, I just did, like, when I applied to my classes at the end, like, I chose a couple of classes that I was interested in, but it wasn't like me actually doing general ed. And even then, I look back and it's like, bro, I had no clue what I was really gonna do. And also, okay, I think I'm gonna post a video of the 18th. That I kind of waited so long to post it now that it's crazy, because like in a month I'm gonna be 19. But there's a video I recorded one day after school. Like literally, like I think it was like I turned 18, and maybe like a week or a little bit less than a week after, I recorded like a 20-minute, like this was even before the podcast. I talk about like me trying to do something like a podcast, and I had an idea, like I had a different name for this when like it wasn't me versus myself. It was like just the idea of being a podcast, and like I'm not gonna say the name of it. That's for another time. But I had I had the podcast idea in my head already, and it had a different name at the time, but it was gonna be this. Regardless, it was still gonna be this like format, this like me talking to myself. And it's cool because it's like in that video I talk about like me wanting to do my podcast, and well now it's a year in. We're at like 45 subscribers, which is it's like it's just really cool to me to know that it's like it's growing, and that you guys like what I'm doing. Like I feel like that's like the most like the coolest part about it. It's just like you guys are there and you're supporting me for me. And you're a part of this journey that I'm on currently. That's gonna take me where I want to go, you know. And I guess like now bringing back to like where I was or what's been going on. First of all, welcome back to Me versus Myself podcast episode 56 or 57. I didn't give a proper introduction, but if you're here, I mean, I'm sure you already know what Me versus Myself is, and if you don't know, Me versus Myself is my space to talk about myself. And that sounds very like self-centered in a way, but it's literally like my place to like look into. It's basically like me versus myself. So it's like I'm looking at the camera, I'm talking about it, and I guess the symbolism behind it, you can kind of say, I am looking in the mirror and just like having a conversation with myself about the things that are going on in my life and the things that are maybe like stopping me from doing more, or this is my therapy kind of session that I kind of come into with myself every week. And here I talk about the things that are bothering me, things that I'm feeling, things that are motivating, things that are like discouraging me, things that are distracting me, things that are like, I guess more or less like the process of everything. And this is me documenting the process of me getting where I'm gonna get to with like success and stuff. So I'm so itchy, I keep scratching myself. I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry, but I have so many mosquito bites, so many bug bites that just yesterday I got obliterated by them, and it's not fun. And I had the little lotion cream thingy that makes you like not itchy, but I don't know where it's at. And like it's kind of bothering me because it's like they're itchy, but I have to stop. But yeah, me versus myself, guys. And I know, sorry, like it's already 8 minutes and I haven't really said much. I'm sorry, but yeah, man, I feel like I have a lot to say about me. Since the last time you saw me, when was it? Like a week ago, Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday? I don't even know when I upload these. I'm slacking. Actually, I have to stop saying that I'm slacking, because the more I keep saying it, the more I reinforce that in myself, and I'm learning that like the things you say to yourself are really important. So you can't really be like discouraging yourself and like putting yourself down, like even in a joking manner, because like subconsciously, like your brain's gonna be like, you're a slacker, so it's like you're good. And I'm trying to break that, because honestly, dude, I've been slacking. So no, I have not been slacking. I have just not been super motivated. Business wise, fitness wise, I have been. Thankfully, like I've been boxing and stuff, and I've been enjoying like working out and building strength, building discipline, and building confidence. But also like I just haven't been super motivated. It's kind of like I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just lacking the discipline or the mindset to really just go for it completely. I'm kind of okay with being comfortable, and I don't really want to be necessarily. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm just, I feel like I'm being very complacent right now, and I have been for the longest time, and I feel like it's really hard for me to like try breaking that cycle that I've been putting myself into. But I mean, regardless, like, I'm still learning, and regardless, I'm not like necessarily like stagnant, although I'm like, although like I'm working towards my goals, right? But also, like, I know that I could be doing more, and I feel like that is what like holds me back the most, because it's like I know I could be doing more, and it's like I'm not doing more, and that kind of like stops me from wanting to just do anything in general. Because me, like, the podcast, thankfully, like, I've been very consistent, as not like consistent like as in a schedule wise, but like, I've been posting every week, and like, this is something that I know I need to do for myself, regardless if like I post it or not. Like, this is just something that helps me clear my head, like nothing else. Like, literally, this is my therapy sessions that I get to just come to for free. Like, I do this for myself, but also, like, while me explaining whatever it is that I'm dealing with, I'm hoping that you guys are learning something or taking something from my perspective of life, because it's like, I mean, I'm doing the thing, I'm trying to figure out what works for me, right? And what works for me can hopefully work for you in a certain way, and that's kind of the goal behind it. It's kind of like me explaining my battle, my mind battle, can help you with you and your battle. Because me versus myself, I've said this before, but me versus myself is a universal concept. And it's like everybody has this internal struggle and this internal battle of like that voice in their head versus like the person they are. And I think it's cool that you hear my perspective of it, and hopefully, like, after hearing my perspective and hearing this and having this conversation with like a friend, you kind of take something away from like what it is that I'm doing, and hopefully that can help you, or that gives you comfort, or that gives you the strength that you need to keep moving forward, or to keep improving, or keep wanting to improve. Because like I said, I want to keep improving, and I'm trying to keep improving. It's just there's something that's been holding me back, and like, there's really no person to blame. It's just myself that's holding myself back. But I don't know how to like get over that. I don't know how to just start taking action, because I know that's what I need to be doing. Like, I know I need to be taking action. I know that's that's literally what I have to do. But I just struggle with like getting up and like, all right, it's time to work now. Because I have no, like, there's different disciplines that I have in my life. There's different like things that I'm just like on top of. Like, if I have to be here at this time, I'll be there. But when it comes to this like business that I'm trying to build, I kind of lack the motivation to like go on and like fucking like try. And I know what I have to do. I know how to run the business. I know how to scale the business. I just need to take the action and apply what I know to like the real life, the real world. It's not just, it's like I've seen all the videos, I've watched the courses, I've listened to I've listened to everything that I need to know to like run my business the way I know how. I just don't know why I can't just act on it. And it's like whenever I act on it, it's like I act on it for a bit and it's like, okay, like I'm good. But it's like, no, it's like I know I need to be doing more, because if I do more, I'll get more out of it, and well, like, that's going to give me the life I want to be living. Because not that I'm not happy right now, but I know like long term it's not working, especially because quarantine, like, yeah, like I'm making money flipping stuff, and I haven't been making money flipping stuff. Like, I haven't made money in like 3-4 months probably, which kind of sucks a little bit, bro, because I'm like eating into my savings, and like, I mean, I have bills to pay, I have a car to pay, and it's like that should be motivating enough to like, all right, let me get off my ass and work. But like, for some reason, I'm just kind of been in a stagnant position where it's like I'm just kind of getting by or doing enough to get by. And I don't want to do enough to get by. I want more for myself. I just don't understand why or what it is that's holding me back. I don't know, man. I guess I have been a little bit distracted as far as like outside attention, but not really so much like before. Before I used to like depend on other people's attention to like feel good. But now it's kind of like I'm just happy doing my own thing. And like being single for like what is it, like 5 months probably now? I don't know, 4 months. August is the 8th month. So like 4 months ish of being single, being alone. Not having to talk to someone every day, not having to report back to somebody and like let me like have that support also. I've learned a lot. I've learned how to be independent. I learned what it is to be independent, but also it's kind of now like, well, I kind of miss that. I don't know that that's the missing link. For me to say that like I need somebody to like motivate me to be successful, like I know I don't need anybody to do that for me. I should be able to do that for myself. But I think I thrive off of that energy. I think having somebody there pushing me and like lifting me up also while just like supporting me, that really helps me. Because in my last relationship I had a lot of like support. I had a lot of support, and like I was very, very like blessed to experience that amount of support, because like regardless of what I was doing, like I was kind of praised for it. Not praised in like a I don't know how to explain what way. It's just kind of like I was just supported. I had that support of somebody that like holds you down and that loves you for you. But also they're like, looking back now, it wasn't always loving me for me. Like there was a lot of like points in the relationship where I was acting differently than like myself for her own benefit, or for the person she wanted me to be. Shout out Ignacio Guillen. He just popped up in the window. He said hi. But sorry. Back in my relationship. Oh, wait, this is just coming from me reflecting now. It's been so long though. I've just had time to reflect and think about it. Because it's like as much as I don't want to think about that stuff, like I think about it, and it kind of not annoys me, but it kind of gets to me or kind of bugs me. So it's like in my relationship, there was a lot of times where I was acting differently for her, because that's what she kind of wanted me to be. And although she supported me and loved me and like was obsessed with me, literally like I always felt insecure because one, I couldn't read her. Like I couldn't read her, and I'm pretty good at reading people, and I'm pretty good at just observing and like taking things in, and like pretending like I don't know or I didn't see certain things, but it's like I picked up on it. But with her, like I couldn't really read her so well. And like, but like there was always an insecurity in me that was just like, I'm not enough. Like I'm not the person you want to be with. Essentially, like yeah, you love me, yeah, you support me, and yeah, you put up with certain things about me that you don't like. But I was like, but there was a lot of things she did not like about me, and expected me to change in a certain way, or like, not that she was telling me to change, but it was like, I'm sure like in the back of the head, like in the back of her head, like it was like for me to like be different eventually, or for me to change her way eventually, like eventually change to what she believed her, and that like that was like not fun. I look back now and it's like, yeah, I did so many things and acted so different certain times around certain people for her, because that's what she wanted, and that's what I thought she expected from me. And well, like me trying to be, you know, like a good boyfriend, like I would just meet her needs. But it's like it doesn't work like that, you know? It's like one thing was like I'm not religious, and well she was, right? And like well in that religion they believe certain beliefs like you shouldn't live together if you're not married, like you know, like kind of get married fast. Just a lot of spiritual beliefs too that I didn't believe in, you know, and like there was things like I believed in like psychedelics and weed at the time. Like I was like I don't see anything wrong with these things, you know, and it's like well to her it was like the thing that's fucking I guess it kind of bothers me, and I guess I should just talk about it. You know, there's no point in fucking me holding it in, and I'm not trying to like offend anybody or like trying to like you know, like put anything out there. I mean, it is kind of putting things out there, but it happened already. Like, what the fuck can we do about it? I just, you know, I'd rather just get over it and just say it. And, you know, if it's out, it's out. Oh, fucking well. But, like, before, like, when we first started dating, we would smoke. Like, me, we would smoke. Her sister would smoke us out. Like, you know, we'd go out and smoke. And it was cool. But she got closer to church, and like all of a sudden that became unattractive. And she would tell me like, I think it's unattractive. I don't want it around me. I don't want that in my life. And well, at the time it was like, well, like okay, you know, like I mean, I guess you know. I mean, it's kind of fucking hurt, you know. It's just like okay, like you know. I mean, I get it. Maybe you don't like it, but you know, to say it's unattractive like that, it was just like, okay, that fucking hurt. But what can I do? And well, to meet her needs of like, okay, like ideally, she wanted me to not do it at all. But the kind of compromise was like, you'd smoke less. And I remember we'd always be like, I'd always tell her, can we meet in the middle somewhere? Like, where can we meet in the middle? Where it's like, okay, I won't do it around you. I won't, you know, be high around you. I won't fucking do certain things, you know, like that. Okay, if you don't like it and you don't want it around you, okay, I won't. But there was times where I'd be home and like she'd kind of be bothered by it, and it's just like I'm fucking home. Like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything mean. I'm not doing anything like, to hurt your feelings. But I guess me doing it was hurting her feelings, which was like kind of like, oh man, you know, like I can't really do much about it, but it's just not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just doing something that I like to do, and like I'm with my cousins or I'm with my, you know, it's not like I was out there smoking with like friends. I've never like really smoked with any of my friends, and at school, yeah, occasionally here and there, but it's not like I've ever like hung out with people outside of school to like smoke. It's literally only been like, I mean, my brother's friends, which are now my friends, but like out of like my own group of friends and the people that I fuck with like on my like that I've built, you know, relationships that I've built like on myself without anyone introducing me, I've never smoked with them. So it was like I'd be home, you know, like okay, yeah, I'm just getting high, but it's like I'm home, or yeah, like I'm high, but it's like I feel so good about us, I feel so good about you, and I want to tell you all of these feelings that I'm feeling. But then to be like, well, I don't know why you can't feel those things without it. But it's like I was lovey, like I'm so lovey, like literally, like that's just how I love, and I'm a baby, dude. Literally, like when it comes to that shit, like I want to be babied, and like I'm willing to just baby you too, because it's just like I was just like I feel like the way my mom brought me up and brought us up, like the love she gave us, dude, and she continues to give us. It's so like, you know, it was like so precious and so like sweet. And well, I've picked that up, and I feel like, you know, always kind of having that and always like knowing that that's making me feel so good. I kind of am like that, and a lot of I guess my followers, maybe you can kind of tell. I don't know if you remember or not, but like when I'd post her and stuff, like I'd be like sweet talking her so much, and it was just that's literally how I was. Like it was literally like a little kid, and it was like it's not that I don't feel these things when I'm not high, but it's like when I'm high, it just like it just adds like 10 levels to it, and like she didn't really appreciate it. I feel, because it was like, yeah, like you're high, and like that kind of just ruined it. Or like, like I'd send a picture of myself and my eyes were red, and she's like, you're high, huh? And it'd be like, yeah. Like I feel like I'd have to like tell her, and like it was kind of like I felt guilty about it, because it's like, well, like I don't really have to tell you. Not that it's like not that I'm hiding it from you, but it's like I don't really have to tell you that I'm high. But that's what she wanted me to do, so I would tell her. But every time I tell her, like it kind of be like I'm turning myself into the fucking like, to the law. It's like I'm high, and like I knew that she'd kind of be mad about it. She'd be like, okay, but like deep down, like I'm sure like it would bug her, and I mean I'm pretty sure it bugged her. And what fucking bothers me now, and not that I need to worry about what she's doing, but occasionally I'll see that she's smoking again, and it's like, okay, And I mean, it's not that like anything against her really, like at all, or like, it's like there's no grudge that I'm holding, but it's kind of like it makes me feel stupid, because it's like for so long I put up, I not even put up with it. I'm not even say I put up with it, but like, okay, so the compromise that we'd get to, because we could never meet in the middle about that. Like it was just like either you don't do it, or you just do it less, and that was a compromise. And it was just like, okay, I'll just do it less. I won't do it every day. And then eventually the compromise was like, okay, do it 4 times a week, which isn't bad. Like if it's not like I need fucking, but at the time it was kind of more like serious. It was kind of more like, I guess I was more into it. I was more kind of in the mindset of like, okay, weed and like smoking more, and like this is fun, and like this is a vibe or whatever. So at the time it was somewhat significant to me. It was significant to me. I'm not even gonna say somewhat, but it was significant to me. And like one, it was unattractive to her. Like she would tell me like it's unattractive, which hurt my feelings a lot. And it only added to the insecurity of like me not being enough, because one, I couldn't, she wasn't very like affectionate. Okay, sorry about that. My mom called me. But you see how the interface works so much better? I think it's gonna work so much better. I'm excited to see how this works. But back to what I was saying. So the meet in the middle thing, we eventually met in the middle of like, okay, I'll smoke 4 times a week. And I'm just like, okay, like 4 times a week, that's not that bad. Like I can manage. And well, I mean, like looking at the positive of it, like I did learn discipline, and it wasn't just me smoking every day, because there was like a standard I held myself to for her. And like I mean, I'm appreciative of that, but also like in the way that like it was just kind of like I felt like I would feel so guilty about smoking sometimes, and it's not even that bad, it's not even that like serious, I think. And yesterday I was looking at some of my notes that I had, so I'm gonna read you something from I think October, and this was kind of like the first time we broke up. So I wrote, okay, that was like the headline, after my own happiness. I don't want to lose you because I'm so comfortable with how things are, but if you don't want me for how I am and what I want to do, it's not going to work. I've kept my end of the deal and smoked 4 times a week, but I don't want to put unnecessary limits on myself. And like, that's fucking October. I mean, sorry, that's December 13th, actually. So this is the second time we broke up, because when we would get back together, it was like we loved each other. It was like we still loved each other, but it was just there were certain things like kind of we're starting to go to different paths, but we loved each other, so like we'd eventually like still kind of walk kind of together. And there was just part of it was just putting up with certain things just because we loved each other, and it was just like, if we love each other, it'll work. That was the mindset. But like it doesn't work. Unfortunately, like it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Like I don't know what else to say, but like it doesn't work like that. And there was like times where I'd meet those limits, or like it would be like I've done the fourth time and it's like, oh, I can't smoke. And it's like not important. Smoking is not important. Weed isn't fucking important. It wasn't never more important than her to me. But there was times where it's like I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, what's if I do it a fifth time? Like, it's no big deal really. Like, I didn't see the big deal about it, and not that there is a big deal about it. Because it's like, well, at the time it was like relaxing. It helped me, and I understand it because there was a time like in the beginning where like it did kind of turn into like a coping mechanism, like me starting to like smoke simply because I was a little bit more emo. But after I took acid the first time, those like depressed feelings went away. But the thing that always stuck was the insecurity of like not being enough for her, because I would see the people she'd be around at church, and I'd see the way they lived their lives and the way their relationship was, and like just not comparing her to them, but like if you see who she's with, or if you see who someone is with, you can kind of tell who they are, how they are. So I understood that she wanted something like that, or wanted her life to be like that, right? And I'd see it, and I that life didn't really appeal to me. And like, I guess there was like a constant like there was a what do you call it, a negative feeling or an insecurity, because it was like I see the relationships around that the people you surround yourself with are in, and I understand that you probably want something like that. And I'd see myself and I'd be like, well, I'm not like these people. Like literally at church I'd always feel out of place, because one, I did have to act a certain way around, just to kind of to protect her look or identity, I guess. Because there was times where it was like I'd be at church and like I'd try to hold her hand, and that's just like a little bit later, like early on, sorry. And even it wasn't that early on. I mean, it was early on, but like it carried on for a while. Like it was just like not that like I was asking to like kiss her and stuff like at church, like obviously not. But I'd be like holding her hand, and like she'd kind of like not want to, and I'd feel like, well, it was like because the approval of the other people that she was with, right? Sometimes she wouldn't introduce me as her boyfriend, and it was just kind of weird. It was just like, okay. I mean, it would be cool, like, oh, this is my boyfriend, Jesus. But it was just like, why? I guess it just added to the insecurities of me, and that's my own fault for being insecure. Like, it's not her fault that I felt that way. But there was a lot of times in the relationship, now looking back, that it was like I'd change so much about myself, or act so much about, because there was one thing, like I couldn't even joke about weed, like, and I would still do it, like that was just my humor, I'm just a fucking, like, I make jokes about anything and everything, and it's a blessing and a curse, it's like funny, but also sometimes it's like, chill out. It's like, all right, now is not the time. But there are times like I'd make jokes about like being high, or like jokes, or like, and then like it would bug her, and it'd be like what, like it's not even that serious, it's like it's just a joke. Or she just wouldn't appreciate the fact that I joke around like that. And now it's like moving forward. I mean, I'm not necessarily over her. I mean, I am, because I've accepted that we're just not gonna work out like that in a relationship wise. Like, our beliefs literally just don't align, and we see the world very differently. And unless like her beliefs were to change, or my beliefs were to change, like it wouldn't work, I don't think. And I don't even think that she'd want to get back together. That's the thing. But there was a part of me for so long, like after we broke up, maybe like up to like a month ago, I felt like, maybe we will get back together. Maybe, we can work things out. Maybe, like, now that things are different, and like a couple, and we've had some like time to ourselves and independence, and had time to just be our own self. Maybe we can work out, and we can see where we're at. But she's very different from me, and a lot of the times that we broke up before, like the actual like main breakup, that was a thing, a recurring thing. It was just like we don't believe the same things, we don't think the same, we don't necessarily like, we're not aligned, I guess, as far as our paths was. But the thing was, for me, was like, it was never like, okay, like, I don't believe in the same thing as you, but like I don't see that as a bad thing. To me, it wasn't a bad thing that we just didn't have the same beliefs or whatever. I'd let her do her thing, go to church, like, have your church friends, blah 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 blah, go to church retreats, and I just don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in it, so it's like, I'm not gonna partake in it. But you go and do you. I'd give her that option, and not even that it was an option. That was just what she deserved. But it was like, when it came to the things I liked, it wasn't the same thing, because she would, it was just based off of her belief of it, and that doesn't really work long term. Because there was part of me that at times I'd be like, well, what if I just fucking like, fuck around and just stop smoking, stop doing blah 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 blah, go to church, and don't do psychedelics ever again, for her. And although I had felt so like good about all those things and those substances, and I knew that there were so many like good experiences that I had from them, I kind of did at one point would just be like, what, fuck it, I love this girl, so do I just fucking let go of everything? But then that just made me think, like, I shouldn't have to change for someone. Especially when, like, I'm not asking them to change for me. Right? That's the thing that was, like, weird. And, there was certain things that I asked for to change, like, I'm not going to say, like, I'd never asked her to change anything about herself. There was things, but there was never, like, anything past her, like, core beliefs, like, that I'd try to change or, like, go against. Yeah, like, maybe I didn't believe in, like, certain things I'd hear at the church, but I would tell her my side and my opinion about it, but it wasn't to, like, discourage her. It was just me sharing my experience and, my belief system. But, it's like, I guess I am over her. And, it's like, I love her, and, like, I appreciate everything we lived and experienced together. But looking back, it's like, I did so much to try to change myself for her, that it's not fair to Jesus, and, it's not fair to me. Because, this whole 4 months has been me trying to be comfortable alone again, after, like, on and off dating for, like, 4 years. And, not just her, like, just, like, back to that one episode where I just talked about, like, all of the whole, like, love story of Jesus Guillen, And for it was like these past 4 months, I had to, like, kind of reinvent myself in a way that was just like, who am I? Like, who am I alone when I don't have anyone to depend on? And I've grown so much. I've learned so much, and I no longer feel a lot of the insecurities I felt when I was with her. And the thing is, like, I'll see her stuff sometimes, and, like, those insecure feelings come back. Like, I'll feel mad, or, like, I'll see that certain people I didn't like, maybe like her stuff. And, well, I unfollowed her spam private, and like, not that, like, it means anything, but I'd see, like, certain people I didn't like, and I had made it a big deal to, like, not that I didn't like her stuff, and that would bug me. And it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, why am I letting her still bother me for some, like, and not even her, it's not even, like, her fault. That's just the way I tend to react to those things. But it was like, dude, like, I don't need that. I don't need to be looking at that and bothering myself, or, like, feeling negative about myself because of, like, what she's doing. And she's not even doing anything, like, wrong or anything bad. It's nothing to do with her. It's more of the people that I see interacting with her things, and it's like, like, sucks, kind of. It's bittersweet. It's just like, like, I don't fucking like that person, and it's like, I still, it's funny. It's funny, but also it kind of bothers me, because it's like, I don't know how to explain that, but it's a little, like, it's like, fuck that, fuck that person still. But it's all love regardless, at the end of the day, like, everything we experienced together was very cool. And this was like my first serious relationship, my first serious like, like actual like being in love. But it's like it doesn't work out all the time, and it's okay because it's like I've learned so much, and now moving forward and like now feeling necessarily like over her, like, I'm excited to find somebody who appreciates me for myself, and somebody where I don't have to be different or act differently. And I mean, I tend to give that same energy back. Like it's like, okay, like you I'll give you the freedom to be all that you are and all that you're not. And I hope that you give me the freedom to be all that I am and all that I'm not. Because I've learned, I've learned those affirmations, I've learned those things, and those like that foundational stuff that really helps you move forward. And also, like, I want to take things slow with this next person, whoever it is, whenever it happens. Because before it was, I would rush into like relationships and I'd rush like start to do things, or like like maybe I'd rush to kiss simply because, like, I mean, not that it was all lust, but there was a lot of that did have a lot to do with it. Because like at school you kind of like it's like girls and like doing stuff, and I mean not even like doing stuff, it's just kind of like making out, it's like that's cool and that's fun, and we're like, I mean, I like making out, but like I would always rush into stuff, and that wasn't the case. I mean, it was the case. I did kind of rush into it, but it wasn't real. But before that, it was like just rushing into like a relationship, or rushing into flirting with somebody, and like moving kind of fast after the talking stage. But I do want to take things slow with this next person, wherever you're at, whoever you are, shawty. Treat me good, please. It's just like like I'm getting fucking goosebumps saying all this shit, so it must be a good thing. I'm just letting all this out. But like it sucks because like although I made stupid mistakes, like I'm not gonna like obviously like I sought out attention from like other girls in a sense, and like just kind of disrespected my girlfriend too a little bit, maybe a lot bit, just stupid mistakes, like at the end of the day it's like I look back and it's like, bro, you're fucking dumb, but I can't change it, it's like it's just learn from those dumb mistakes. And it's like now moving forward, it's like I don't need to seek that fucking short-term pleasure. I'm not necessarily like into just fuck, like I'm not trying to just get with someone to just fuck, like I'm over all of that, I'm over that short-term like pleasure of like chasing girls and like let me get one, let me get another one, let me it's like, for what? I don't need that. I want love. I'm a fucking simp, for real. I'm a simp. And it's just like back to what I said, like I'm just so lovey, like I get so attached, I'm kind of clingy, and yeah, I'm just kind of clingy. So it's like I'm not really into like the short term, like, oh, let's go, meet somebody and like just fuck. And I mean, if it happens, it happens, but it's not like I'm, because it's a mindset also. There's some people that are just like into like dating and stuff simply because of that, like that's all they want to do, and nothing wrong with it at all. There's nothing wrong, but it's just for me, like I want a partner that's gonna hold me down, and like we can move forward together, and like I'll hold them down and they hold me down, and we build off of each other. That's what I want for myself. And maybe I'm kind of ready. And like it's not like the first person I talk to is going to be that person. And I mean, they might be, but it's not really the intention. It's just, let me put myself out there to potentially find that person. And whether this person, this new person ends up being or not being, like it's learning, and it's going to lead up to that one person that I'm looking for. So there's that. Because there is some people that I think that are pretty. A lot of them have boyfriends though, but like there is one that I've kind of talked about, not here, but I've just thought about and talked about. But I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna shoot my shot, where fuck it, shoot or shoot, but it's I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I'm a little nervous, and honestly, like, I don't know how to fucking flirt anymore, bro. I mean, obviously, I do know, and I know what to do and what to say, but I haven't like tried to get to know somebody like that in so long. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But can you see the smoke? Yeah, you can. Sorry, I meant to light that earlier. I meant to light this earlier, but kind of got sidetracked. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to maybe start putting myself out there a little bit. Because one thing that I was worried about was like, am I moving on too fast? Because that's what that's what I was doing before. I just kind of move on fast because I mean it wasn't really I mean they were real relationships and real like connections, but it wasn't love like this type. Like this 2-year relationship I was in, like this was love. I experienced fucking love and it was so beautiful. And part of me was like, am I moving on too fast like before? And it's like, no, not really. Because, I mean, I understand that we just don't work that way. And we probably can't work out that way because of our beliefs and the way we see the world. It's just different. But, like, also, I that was the scary part. It was just like, am I moving on too fast? It's like, but after like thinking about all these things and thinking about these insecurities that I had and how certain things hurt my feelings, how I hurt her feelings, and just learning overall like how and what it was that made me do certain things or made us do certain things and act a certain way. I understand that it was all just us learning, At the end of the day, it's like you have to learn, and not everybody you date is going to be the one, and maybe it does feel like that sometimes, but also, like, if it doesn't anymore, like, there's not much we can do about it. So, yeah, it was kind of like, maybe I'm moving on too fast. Maybe I am. But now, looking back, it's like, no, it's like, we shared our purpose. We were in each other's lives for a reason, and it all happened for a reason. It all happened a certain way because maybe it had to happen that way. And well, regardless, I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about love and the way I love and how I want to be loved through her. So, it's like I'm taking all of the positive with me, and it's like I'm looking for that person that is gonna make me feel like I don't have to be a certain way, and I'm excited to find that. And I'm excited to fucking find the motivation to keep grinding too, because I know I need to grind, and I have that mindset of like grind, but also it's like fucking action. I just need to take action about certain things. But man, I don't know. I'm trying to get baked, dude. Honestly, like I'm like a month. I got like one more month before I can fucking get baked. But gosh, I got a whole month probably still before I will. And it's gonna be worth it. I know it is. It is. I've already learned so much about myself too, just being so sober for so long after like not being sober like completely. But thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoy the new mic. It's a blue snowball microphone that I got at the swap meet for like $5. So fucking come up, like I fucking sound crisp. I feel hopefully I sound crisp. Yeah, okay, thank you so much for listening to Me versus Myself podcast. My name is Jesus Guillen. Thank you for taking the time to listen and watch my podcast. If you like what you heard, if you like what you've seen, and if you relate or feel like you can connect with me, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Jesus_Spiffy. It'll be on the screen. I appreciate all of you so much. Literally, like, it means the world that I have this time to just talk to myself. Like, literally, I just talked to myself for 50 minutes of just me saying whatever it is that I'm feeling, and literally I look forward to this day because it's like I get to just drop off so much weight that I carry. And I can't really talk to, like, I don't have friends like that to like talk to about my problem feelings. And I mean, I do, but it's kind of hard for me to just really be out there sometimes or be vulnerable with other people. But when it's like this, it's just like I have nobody to interrupt me. I have nobody to like cut me off or like ask me to elaborate a little bit more. It's just kind of free flowing for 50 minutes. And it is so refreshing. It's so fucking cool to have this platform that's growing. Not only is it growing, but like it's for me at the end of the day. And I'm glad that you guys are enjoying this. So thank you so much for listening. This has been Me versus Myself podcast. My name is